Hey folks, how you all doing? Lloyd here, or Mr. Hats as I'm affectionately known in the vinyl community. I thought I'd do another response video to a thread today. I've been getting onto these a bit lately. I never used to do these much on my old channel, but I am now. Anyway, this is a response for Jack and Debbie at the CD Cave, and they started a thread a couple of days ago called Let's Go Places. They wanted you to show 5 places that are mentioned in song or album title or the artist name, say Texas for example, or Boston, that's another one, of places you've either been or would like to go and go on a trip. So anyway, I've picked 5. I don't like flying, so once I get to a place, my 5 places are all within driving distance basically. So, and there are actually places I've been before. So I was born in the UK, that's one country I've been to. I now live in Australia, that's 2. Well, there's 18 other countries I've visited in my lifetime. I'll quickly go through them first. So there's Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Turkey, Greece, Malta, Sicily, Holland, USA, India, Bahrain, Gibraltar, Egypt, Tunisia and Algeria. So some of those countries when I was younger, we used to go around the Mediterranean on cruises from the UK. So some of these places I've been to might have been stop off, have a night there, another full day and then leave. Some of them have been places that I've driven through. Some of them places I've intentionally stayed for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it happens to be. So either way, I've been to those countries, I've set foot on their lands, I've breathed their air, tasted their food, etc. Now there are 5 other countries I would really love to visit one day. 2 I will not visit because of the restrictions there. That's China and Russia, simply because they don't allow you into certain places. They don't like you taking photographs in certain places. The government, the police will want to check your cameras, etc., your phones, to see what photos you have taken. It's just, that's what life is in those places. There are certain things and people and places they don't want you to film or restrict you from entering. So I'd really love to go to those 2 countries, but I don't think I will. The other 3 countries I would really like to go to, 2 are very similar. Got the South Island of New Zealand, and I'd love to go to Canada. I'd love to go to British Columbia. I've always had a fascination with that. And the South Island of New Zealand is very similar to British Columbia. You've got the mountains, you've got the rugged coastlines, etc., the forests and all that sort of stuff. So either or either would be really good for me. I would also like to go to Halifax at some point, believe it or not, the other side of Canada. I had a friend who used to live there and send me videos and photos, but sadly he died during COVID. So not of COVID, he actually had cancer. So I guess I wouldn't be staying with him because he's not there anymore. But yeah, I'd love to go to that side as well and probably drive through everything in between. And also a little island in the South Atlantic called St. Helena. That is a British overseas territory. It's a dormant volcano. It's about 2,500 miles from Cape Town and about 3,000 from South America. And up until about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5, there wasn't even an airport on the island. You had to get there by Royal Mail ship from Cape Town. That took between 5 and 8 days depending on the weather, etc., etc. And if the weather was too bad, you never got to land there. You'd be going back again basically. So I'd love to go there. It was the island where Napoleon was exiled. There's actually one of those giant tortoises on the island called Jonathan, I believe his name is. He's over 300 years old. He may have just died recently actually, I could be wrong, but I think he's still there. Anyway, that's the countries I would like to go to, the countries I have been to. So now we'll get into where I would like to go again. So first we're going to go to this island, this album here, Shiloh by Neil Diamond. And on here, track 2, side 1, Kentucky Woman. I absolutely love Kentucky. I would live there in a heartbeat. It's beautiful. Not the cities, not Frankfurt, Lexington or Louisville. They're absolutely, to put it plain simply, drug fucked with meth and Dexys, or Oxys, sorry, and all the rest of that crap. And like most big cities, in every major western country in the world, but you get into the rural and the semi-rural places, the people there are fantastic. Lancaster and Paint Liquor probably places I would go back to. I know those places, and it's just a laid-back lifestyle there is absolutely awesome. So Kentucky's first on my list. Then we take a bit of a drive and we head down to Memphis. So I absolutely love Memphis. I think it's absolutely brilliant. You got Beale Street there, with all the bars and clubs and all the bands playing and all the, I'm not into drinking and that anymore, but you know, you go and see the nightlife, the bands, all that sort of thing. You got Sun Records there, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, all started there. Absolutely brilliant. I would go back there in a heartbeat as well. The Stax Museum, which is now Stax / Atlantic. People like Carla Thomas, Booker T and the MGs, Ike and Tina Turner, Wilson Pickett, all started their careers through Stax. So that's where I would go in Memphis. But then also people do go to Memphis for another reason, and they go and see this place and then they leave. They don't look at the whole place. So I'm talking Graceland. So it's the home of Elvis Presley, for God's sake, you know. There's a couple of museums there, Elvis Presley museums just outside of Graceland, which are Elvis related. You got the one where it's got all his Cadillacs in there that he owned. Another section there with all his jumpsuits from his Vegas days and the suits he used to wear in concert, clothes from the 50s, from the 60s. He's got the leather outfit from the 68 comeback special, microphones that he had on tour. Then you've got his music section side of it with all his gold and platinum records and all that. Just absolutely brilliant. Can't knock Graceland. From there we take a drive and we go to Nashville, Tennessee. So there obviously you've got the Ryman Theatre, which is a great concert venue in its own right. You've got the Grand Ole Opry. If you ever got invited to the Grand Ole Opry to perform, you knew you'd made it in country music, so you got that as well. You got the Country Hall of Fame there. You got all the bars, all the restaurants, all the live music, etc. There's Dukes of Hazzard Museum there in Nashville. There's a Willie Nelson Museum there in Nashville, despite Willie Nelson coming from Texas. You got RCA Studio B, which is where Elvis, Jim Reeves, Everly Brothers, Chet Atkins, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, hundreds of others recorded over the decades. They produced over 1,000 charting singles from that one studio alone over the decades, which is absolutely brilliant. Well worth a mention. From there we'll drive pretty much through New Orleans, across the Panhandle and up into Georgia, I guess, because then you're going to get to Cumberland Gap. Well, not exactly right there, you're not, because that's up near the Virginias. But the Cumberland Gap forms part of the Appalachian Mountains. I just love the Appalachians. I'd go through, you know, Mississippi, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Virginia, North South Carolina, and West Virginia. Absolutely brilliant. You go through all those mountains through the Appalachians, and you know, it's just absolutely, the scenery is just absolutely incredible. It is so scenic. You got rivers running through these limestone waterfalls and the mountains either side and the trees, and then you get into these little hollers, and you got the coal mining places, and it's just absolutely brilliant, absolutely incredible. So and then obviously as you get up towards West Virginia and Virginia, you've got the Cumberland Gap, and that was actually the pass that I think Daniel Boone went through, because his national park is up that way. And you got the frontiersmen that went through to discover the west coast as well. They went through the Cumberland Gap, and the Indians used to use it as a trading route as well. So yeah, it's all part of the Appalachia, so that's why I mentioned the Cumberland Gap. and then obviously I would get back to Lexington, the Bluegrass State, and fly back to LAX and back over to Australia. But all my favourite places I love to visit are all in driving distance basically of each other. And as I said, I would move to the southern states in a heartbeat if I could. Love the food, love the people, love the laid back lifestyle, love the culture, just love everything about it. Anyway, Debbie and Jack, that's my response video to your initial thread, Let's Go Places. So hope that's okay, hope you all enjoyed it. Anyway guys, stay safe, take care, all for now, catch you around, and bye folks.